Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Watch and Roll. Today I have the Nitecore EDC33, which is pretty revolutionary in the flashlight industry. It is utilizing the UHI LED, which is 41% smaller but 43% brighter. It is undeniable that this is a game changer. Look at the LED from these. For example, if I bring the Nitecore P20AX, look at the size of the LEDs and look at the size of these other LEDs. Both of these flashlights are 4000 lumens and you can see the difference in size. The EDC33 has 8 square LEDs around that gives you that floodlight and 1 round LED that gives you that clean focus spotlight. This is pretty great because you can achieve a very tight clean spotlight without the need of a big and deep reflector. Other flashlights use a TRI lens, which is made out of plastic. A negative of that is that they can melt and they don't handle very high outputs. Also, because it's plastic, it can scratch, while on these other flashlights, of course, it's glass, so it's less prone to scratch. The revolutionary thing about this flashlight is that it gives you access to both floodlight and spotlight. It is the only flashlight with this locking switch, which honestly is so much better than pressing and holding buttons to access like locking functions or twisting. It has a proximity sensor right here, which works when you're in a high setting, and as it gets close to the surface, it will step down to a safer output to prevent burning. It has a battery indicator here, very useful. One-way pocket clip, a very strong grippy texture, a twisting charging port, so much better than, for example, on regular flashlights with parts like these that look like they can break. And it has an electronic switch. Well, this electronic switch is so good. I had the All-Light Warrior 3S that also had an electronic switch with 2-step levels, but honestly, this Nitecore is just so much better. It's just more defined and crisp. The one on the All-Light was a bit on the gray area. Like, I did not know sometimes the amount of pressure I needed to be on to the first or second position. I think if you compare these to the All-Light, the bigger version of these, the EDC33, which is the EDC35, I believe that is just a definite All-Light Warrior 3S killer. So yeah, orange peel reflector, and look at those 9 LEDs. They're so small and so different. I have these other flashlights in comparison for you to see. So you can see it's a very small, compact flashlight. It does has an integrated battery, and maybe it's a kind of a turn off for a lot of you, but a benefit to this is that they can reduce the size. So yeah, great flashlights, all of them. The question is this the best EDC flashlight there is? My answer is yes and no. Let me show you the UI. Like I told you, there is 2 positions, the first level and the second level. You have access to this looming shield and a spotlight, which is search mode. If you press and hold on the first level, it gives you the spotlight, and if you press and hold on the second level, it gives you that looming shield floodlight. To turn on, of course, you have to go in, you have to unlock it, and then you press all the way 1 time to the second position. This is the Ultra Glow, which is 5 lumens, 63 hours. You can switch, which is 70 lumens for 31 hours, 93 meters. Mid, which is 300 lumens, 6 hours and 58 minutes. And then high, which gives you more floodlight. And this is a 1200 lumens for 2 hours and 31 minutes. Wherever you are, if the flashlight is off or on, you can access to the search spotlight by pressing and holding on the first level, and the lumen shield floodlight, which is 4000 lumens, if you press and hold. This flashlight gets really hot, because that's so much power in a small flashlight. So it gets super hot. In fact, this is the hottest flashlight I ever experienced. It gets super hot very fast if you are in search, spotlight, or floodlight. So this is the thing. Is this the best? Well, yes, in the sense that it gives you crazy amount of power. It has a 4000 milliampere battery, so it gives you a lot of juice. These features, like this twisting thing, the locking feature, the proximity sensor, the ability to switch from flood to spot, to me is crazy, because that's the problem with me. A lot of times I would try to get something in between, like this, that can give you a kind of a mix of a spot and floodlight at the same time. If you want more distance, if you know, like as an EDC flashlight, if you go somewhere, you might want to have access to the spotlight sometimes. So for example, this is a pretty great size for an EDC, but it has a very tight spotlight. So this is not really good for EDC. This is not really that functional, because when you grab it, you have to look for the buttons. The type of light that it gives you is very broad, like a floodlight. So this is good for EDC, because honestly, if you're trying to use it for EDC, you're gonna be using the floodlight more often. You want a more dispersed, because you're probably inside your home, or you're going, you know, you're dealing with closer distances as an EDC. If you want to search light, it's not so much of a EDC, you know, because you don't live searching for things in the wilderness. But it is not that useful for an EDC, because who wants a very tight spotlight and you cannot see anything else around you, you know? So this is not really good. Another thing that for me I consider a better EDC flashlight is I want to control everything from this position. I don't want to be switching my hand to this. So for me, having a button on the side is a deal breaker. I found myself that this type of flashlight with a switch on the side and one right here are rather uncomfortable. So for me, the perfect EDC flashlight would be something like this, something small in which you can operate everything from one button. So a better EDC than this will be the Archer Pro, and I thought this was the best EDC flashlight, and it might still be the very best EDC flashlights. I don't know, there's so many flashlights out there in the market. When this comes in the territory, now I have the question, is this better? Could it be better because you have access to floodlight and a spotlight? So I cannot have access to a spotlight with these. This will give me access to a spotlight, which is much better, and it has all these features, and I can control everything with one button. So is this better? And the concept of it, yes, it's a much better EDC, but it is not quite there. I think there are things that this does much better as an EDC, just because you can have it on a smaller setting, and you're gonna have a more of a floodlight beam. With this one, the smallest setting gives you a very tight spotlight. So this is my problem with an EDC, that I want to use it on a smaller setting, and I want that setting to be floodlight. Unfortunately, you can only access the floodlight on these on a higher setting, which is this one. This gives you a floodlight, but it's a high setting. So yes, this is why. Now let's go in the dark and let me show you how this operates. So I'm gonna show you the modes. Right now, if I press on all the way, this is the lowest setting, which is 5 lumens. So I guess this is how it looks. Second one, I think it's low. We can hit a little bit of a trees out there, and then we go medium, It goes pretty far. And you have pretty good illumination on the sides. This is the floodlight mode, which of course you have a lot of flood and a little bit of a spotlight also. And then of course you want to go search mode. It goes pretty far. And of course the 4000 lumens it only works for a little bit. Now we're gonna go a little more far away. Again, lowest, mid, high, floodlight mode. I think this is the most useful for the EDC, but you only have access to it in high setting. And then what is this called, search, which goes pretty far away. I don't know if it's stepping down right now because it gets hot really fast. Alright, so we're trying to hit the search mode, which goes really far away. And yeah, I guess it goes pretty far away. Let's go to that side, see if we can hit those houses over there. Yeah, it goes super far. Pretty good. As you can see, I can hit those trees that are super far away. Try to hit those trees over there. See over there.